Everyone knows Ormund Hightower, capable commander, cunning strategist, nephew to three-time Hand of the King Otto Hightower. But, as with most lords in Westeros, there is more to Ormund than meets the eye, or the nose in this case. I'm Sir Claudric, chronicler of the Seven Kingdoms, and this is Forgotten Tales, the Lore of Ormund Hightower. Ormund was born in Oldtown, unsurprisingly one of the oldest towns in the realm, but it may indeed surprise you to learn that Ormund had a twin brother. Though they were not identical. No, far from it. You see, Oldtown has magic. Not fire magic, or ice magic, or green magic, but oily black stone magic. The eponymous high tower that sits at the heart of Oldtown is built upon an ancient, unknown heap of stone found nowhere else in all the land. Maester Theron will tell you this is a relic from an aquatic race that predates men, while Archmaester Quillian will argue it is the work of the mysterious maze-makers of Lorath who left for better things across the narrow sea. But whichever oily masons fashioned this peculiar bedrock, they did so with a strange magic. For it altered the womb of Lady Hightower, causing her to birth not only Ormund, but the tragically unfortunate Lottosent. Lord Hightower kept the boy hidden from the royal court for much of his childhood. So while young Ormund received the scholarly training befitting a highborn son of Oldtown, Lottosent was confined to the private courtyards. But when he was old enough to squire, the master-at-arms secretly trained him. The two sparred every day, and the kind mentor went so far as to make the oddly shaped lad his own armour and train him in the equestrian arts, both areas in which Lottosent excelled. His keen sense of smell allowed him to use his opponent's perspiration to identify areas of weakness and fatigue, and granted him the ability to sniff out approaching enemies from farther away than a scout could see. Soon he grew in confidence and began to gallivant down the streets of Oldtown, quickly becoming one of the most eligible bachelors in the Reach, attracting the likes of Nosy Bulwer, though she was already betrothed. Fartwind Tarly was 30 years her senior, and nearly thrice her girth. A repulsive man, by all accounts. It is said his own household called him names unbefitting of his stature. But sadly, those are all lost to time. When Lord Fartwind had learned of Nosy and Lottosent's budding courtship, he threatened to raise his banners against both House Hightower and House Bulwer in retribution for the affront to his honour. Lord Hightower, having simultaneously learned that his son disobeyed his orders to remain within the walls of the keep, and was the cause of political upheaval, immediately called for his own son's head. Or upper nose area, as it were. But Ormund, the loving brother he was, persuaded his father to soften his position and arrange for Lord Fartwind to marry one of the Hightower nieces as restitution for the slight. The Tubby Tarly agreed and offered to host the Hightower twins for an evening of honeywine, lemon cakes and saivas as an expression of truce. But Ormund, smelling a trap, advised against it. He told his brother to leave like a thief in the night and make for safety in the Riverlands, urging him to take his horse to the Oldtown road and ride until he couldn't any longer. But Lottosent, lacking his brother's strategic wisdom, accepted Fartwind's request. Tarly and the twins spent the evening in debauchery, and when Lottosent was stuffed, they all retired to a small, windowless chamber. And believe me, you won't guess what happened next. But first, if you're enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. It really helps the channel, and a gentleman like me will forever be in your debt. When the heavy door was closed, Lord Fartwind released a stench that exceeded his own expectations. A smell that clung to the air like a leech to a wound and lingered like an ancient betrayal. Lottosent, with his heightened senses, was overwhelmed and struggled to breathe. The air failed him, and his supple skin turned a shade of lifeless blue reserved for the strangled and the poisoned. Ormund carried his brother to the high tower, hoping the maesters could potion him back to good health. But it was too late. And as he lay, cradling Lottosent in his lap, leaning against the oily black stone, Ormund begged the gods, old and new, for his twin to live. An eerie magic swirled around them, and Lottosent grew smaller and smaller until he was no bigger than a nose which attached itself to Ormund's face. For the gods granted Ormund his wish, though in the strangest of ways. Lottersant lived on as a fragile feature on a fraternal face, bestowing Ormund with the gift of a magnificent sense of smell. And this is why Ormund Hightower had a strong sensitivity to odours. But did that contribute to his success? Or his demise? Well, that is a story for another day. But what do you think? Did Lottersant get the ending he deserved? If things went differently, what would his role be in the Dance of the Dragons? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any other characters you'd like me to explore, be sure to let me know. Thank you for lending me your ear tonight. I'll see you in the next tale.